If you're watching us online, we're taking a little peek outside right now to see some of the vendors setting up, and it's just beautiful out there already. Lots of the grills have started, and the smoke is in the air. You can smell the tri-tip and such that's getting ready. But this segment right now is our local expert segment, and since this is our first week with a simulcast on Crush 92.5. Many of you didn't catch our previous shows, so I just want to quickly let you know that you can go to our website, go to the recipes section for some of the recipes shared by local chefs during Restaurant Month. Michael Wood with Robbins in Cambria gave us a sweet potato stuffed tortellini that was delicious, and a sweet potato and leek soup from Chef Jacob Moss at Lido, Dolphin Bay. Last week's Farmers Market Pizza from Rooster Creek Tavern in Arroyo Grande, that was Chef Jason Gable. All great and worth trying again. But tonight we turn from the chef realm and we put a different expert on the stand here. It is Bristols Cider, and it's made by the people at Lone Madrone Winery on Paso's west side. Joining us in studio right now is Connor how do you say your last name, Connor?
That's all right. It's you're not the first one. It's Connor Mesnerich.
Mesnerich. I should have asked you that prior to the show, and this isn't our first meeting. I just didn't realize that. Anyway, Connor Mesnerich. I said that.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect. Welcome to Market Fresh.
Thanks very much for having me, Randall. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you here. And I got to tell everyone that Connor dropped by with a bottle of this cider the other day. It was Saturday. And I'm a big cider fan to begin with, and I took a sip of it, and it's great. It's on the dry side, which I like. And then I like things in bottle, but I prefer them on draft. And then you gave me the lowdown that it was available at Sidecar. So I went over there and had a couple. Here's the warning to the people listening right now. It's it's really good, but it's really strong.
7.7, yeah.
7.7%. So if you're used to throwing back a few pints of beer and of lighter beer, and we're not talking IPAs and stuff, but you throw back some of the lighter beers and you drink at that same pace with the cider, you're going to find yourself on the drunk side. So keep it under wraps, not under wraps. Just keep it on the light side when you're having these. So what made you guys think to make cider at a winery?
So Neil Collins and Jackie Meisinger are the owners. They're both from Bristol, England. And
hence the name. Okay.
Hence the name, yeah, exactly. So they moved over here 25, 30 years ago. And Neil could not find a cider that was similar to his English cider, which is more dry than it is sweet.
Yeah.
And so he was like, well, I'm a winemaker. I'll just make my own.
Yeah.
So he just started experimenting, really small production just for he and his friends. And then from there, it's kind of taken off.
Connor, where did you source all the apples?
So we're all local. So everything comes from either Sea Canyon or Chadmark Farms, which is up in San Miguel. So everything is 100% local.
And the apple season is really similar, runs somewhat concurrent with grape season. So the harvests are at the same time. Where'd you find the room to make cider at a winery that's in production?
Yeah, it's tough. The cider has been kind of my project this year, and so I've really been just taking charge of that and just have to fit it in. We buy the juice, a lot of the juice mainly from the orchards, and so it makes it easier. We don't have to actually press it all, which can take a lot of time. And then once we buy it, it's like from there, you put it into a tank and then you start letting it ferment.
And
so
fermentation time's about the same as just beer.
Yeah, it varies. We were adding kind of cider on cider because we were getting, as the apples ripen, you have to you can't, all these different apple varieties ripen at different times. So we were getting a batch and adding it into a tank, and so
right, okay,
kind of like stopping fermentation, but it's still going, and so it took a few months, yeah.
And so then we were showing, for those people watching online, we were showing your little 2-bottle system and I can tell you, I've run a number of microbreweries in the past. That was my career before I got into broadcasting, and I've seen these, similar versions, but it's a lot of effort. So when somebody goes out there and gets a bottle of this at your tasting room, is where you sell the bottled form, right? Yeah. Appreciate it, because it's not easy to put together, right?
Takes quite a while, yeah. It's I think, in my opinion, that 2-head bottle filler that we use could be used for home brewer, because it takes quite a while.
Well, that's what makes it craft. That's why you can throw that's why you can throw that at the beginning of the stuff you make, because you don't have this big giant industrial system that's putting this cider out there. This comes from local fruit by local growers and local bottlers and all that sort of thing. Now, but it is on draft at a number of North County locations, and then here in San Luis Obispo as well. Can you run down the locations where it's currently available?
Yeah, so in San Luis, we'll start off there. It's at Sidecar Restaurant on draft. They just got a fresh new keg, so go in and get yourself some there.
I am after right after this this show.
And then we have bottles and kegs at Molly Pitcher in Atascadero, which is that new beer bar. We also have Via Creek in Paso Robles has it on draft. 15C has it on draft.
Nice places. You got into some of the top restaurants.
Yeah, exactly. And then Poorhouse in Paso actually has it in there. Everybody's really excited about it because it is local and it is 100% juice, apple juice, and
I like that. Everyone's into that right now. That's exactly what people want. They want the 100% juice, they want the local, they want the seasonal, and this is seasonal in the sense that the apples were picked in season and then made into this product, bottled and fermented, and now are available.
Right. And I mean, we want to try and obviously provide for these restaurants throughout the year.
Yeah.
And that's something we're still kind of figuring out, but so we'll get there.
A lot of apples are grown here on the Central Coast, so and I know for a fact that not all of them are used, and sometimes are allowed to rot on the tree. So this is a great place where they could go and be put to much better use.
Exactly,
than that.
exactly. It's so true. And also, I don't know if you knew this, but hard apple cider was the first drink that was drank in the United States.
I love it. Connor Mesnerich with Lone Madrone Winery out of Paso. Ask for their Bristol cider. It's delicious. You're listening to the Market Fresh Report here on Crush 92.5. We're back in just a moment. We go down to street level to find out what's going on. If